Good evening, everyone. You tuned in to another broadcast in Mulatto Vanguard. So, the title for this one is Black Women's Jealousy of Biracial Women. Okay. So, it's very general, obviously, with the title. But on this stream, I'm going to do the best I can to be very precise and specific and to not overgeneralize, because I know that's kind of one of my deficits is I tend to do that a lot, is what I'm noticing, overgeneralizing. So I'm going to make sure I kind of work on that with this stream. But obviously, it's kind of a reoccurring theme, this you know, kind of competitive nature we see, particularly with Black women, monoracial, and then biracial women who are, half Black or mixed women. And obviously, I'm a man, I'm a dude, so I'm going to do the best I can to kind of provide my commentary and observation of what I've seen. But mainly with this broadcast you're listening to right now, I'm going to be observing and giving my reaction on a video clip that I saw uploaded yesterday, or I think it was 3 days ago. 3 days ago, has 600 views, and the YouTuber is Real Talk with New York, Real Talk New York with I can't even pronounce that. Janique. This is Janique here, and the title it says, "Why do some Black women dislike biracial / mixed women? Why mixed women don't fit in?" So I found this to be pretty interesting, and I watched it, I reviewed it, and so yeah, I'm gonna review it again with you guys and provide some of my commentary on it. I think this is gonna be pretty interesting, and yeah, so let's get this cracking. Fair use, and let's go.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Jenny, Real Talk New York with Jenny. Caught up in vanity, what a calamity. Got the audacity, got the audacity. Big up yourself, large up yourself. Okay, guys. So I believe this is a conversation that needs to be had. Okay.
It's funny because this conversation has been going on for years, even before I decided to start opening my mouth on YouTube, right? I've been doing this YouTube content creation thing for about a year now. This channel has been in operation since, the beginning, since I signed up for an account, but I've been an audience member, an observer, right? And I've been seeing these kind of conversations, what she's going to be talking about. I've been seeing this for years. So it's not like it's a new thing that people need to have this conversation more. People have been having it for years. That's why you have these kind of independent spaces developing all over the place. But I'm going to get more into that. So continuing on, fair use.
This conversation needs to be had, all right? It's very important conversation. Okay, watch my video all the way to the end because I don't want you to miss important parts and everything add up. So watch everything till the end.
We are going to watch it to the end. So you guys stick with me here. I appreciate you guys being here with me. It's about 16 minutes, but we are going to zoom through it. Just got off work, so now I'm up here with you guys, and it's definitely an honor. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And this lady took notes for this video. She's got her notepad right there. It's kind of funny. So she took some notes. Yeah, let's get into it. Fair use.
And okay, guys, subscribe, like, comment, no disrespectful comment. Okay. Right. And this conversation is about why Black women like me, some Black women like me, not all, like dark-skinned Black women or Black women in general, authentic Black women don't like biracials, hate biracials, cannot stand biracials, right?
She used the term hate. That's deep. That's a very that's a very strong word to use, right? But don't like, can't stand, or even hate, right? What would cause you to hate somebody? Because for me personally, if there's someone I don't like, I stay away from them. I get away from them whatever circles they're at. I just get away. But it's too much energy, I feel like, to hate. But yeah. Continuing on, fair use.
And this is not a hate speech. I want to explain why, because there's a huge disconnect, and you are partially Black, and we have to come together at this point.
We have to come together at this point. But, it's funny. I noticed that. Yeah. But the plea is We have to come together at this point, but you need to be underneath me as a subordinate, right? And I tell people, look, you just got to renegotiate your position, the kind of social contract you have established, right? Because I'm not a subordinate, I'm not underneath, I'm not a subgroup. Unfortunately, we have people who are biracial content creators. I already have four, I've calculated, who've literally publicly stated that they view themselves as a subgroup underneath probably someone like her, you know? So of course, when she's telling you we got to come to an agreement, yeah, basically, for people who take what she says seriously or to heart, yeah, to basically fall in line with her terms, right? Come to an agreement with her on her terms and her turf and territory, okay? Because you're dealing with a situation where you're in a social democracy where the majority rules, the minority loses, right? And you put yourself in a situation with people like her or other people similar where you are essentially the minority, right? Then of course you fall in line under the subgroup category, which a lot of people, what I've seen, they're comfortable there. But I'm a little different. Let me continue on, fair use.
The fighting is too much. It's annoying when I see it on what's that thing called TikTok. TikTok is toxic. Y'all need to get off of there. But anyhow, let's talk about it. The real reasons. As for coming from a black woman herself, right? Coming from a black woman, why so many black women, right? They don't like biracials or
She's got her whole notepad here, guys. She's going to get into it. Why do black women don't like biracials? I can just say straight up, which I think a lot of you guys know, my audience. I don't know. I have my audience. Saying my audience is very broad because I have a lot of lurkers and hate watchers and just weird random creepers too. But I think some of the people that I recognize, you guys, those of you in the chat, those of you who post comments, some of you guys have been with me literally since my first upload a year ago. So I think a lot of you guys know, generally speaking, okay, when you see this discussion being framed of why I dislike biracial women or I don't trust biracials, it's always going to come from the point of jealousy, right? Jealousy is what we're seeing. So I'm going to continue on. But of course, the thing is, rarely ever will people like her ever publicly admit that. Because if you do, you're admitting a deficit, right? A character deficit and a lack of self esteem, which is very embarrassing. It's shameful. So people want to protect their ego. They're not going to publicly admit that. So they'll find all these other kind of little, minor, things to focus on. But I'm going to continue on with this guy's fair use. Still got like 14 minutes to go.
they don't get along with them, the mixed girls. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all why right now. I know I wrote the list down. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all the real reason. This is not a hate channel again. The real authentic.
And that's like the third time she said, hate. She's given a disclaimer because she knows deep in her heart it's jealousy, envy, and resentment towards these beautiful biracial, mulatto, mixed race women. It's resentment and jealousy and envy, which of course mutates into hate. It mutates that way. And she knows it, but like I said, she's not going to admit it. But it's funny how that's literally like the third time she said within this 90 seconds, spew, she said the word hate, which is a strong word. She has to reaffirm this is not a hate channel. This is not hate speech, but we got to talk about it. We got to come together. When she says come together, she's saying biracial women, accept your place, begging for acceptance. Let us, darker skin who are in the majority over here, punk you and just accept it. And don't, don't step up to us and be competition trying to take the good men, whatever. Continuing on fair use.
Reason why. Number one, disrespectful, right? Biracials say disrespectful comments to black women. All right.
But the interesting thing is it goes both ways. And I want to point this out. I'm going to pause a lot, guys, because I know I had a person, who's basically like, you got to stop pausing. Okay, look, you're going to have to listen to me, my voice. Because I'm going to talk a lot. Okay. I'm going to pause a lot, talk a lot, because a lot's being said here. But when this lady says, a lot of biracials say disrespectful things, well, it goes both ways, right? If I'm out here like this and out here off YouTube, we're in the streets, we're in the parking lot, shopping mall, wherever we're at. You say something funny to me, I'm going to say something back. And it works the same way here on YouTube. But there are people, there's a segment, okay, in society who wants to kind of have this preferential special treatment to be special victims where they can kind of, slander, defame, and badmouth and make little slick comments. When you say something back, then they want to cry. And so we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So the whole disrespect thing, it goes both ways. So I don't like it how already it's being, basically being framed that, well, a lot of biracial women say disrespectful things. Well, yeah, but go the other way as well. A lot of black women say disrespectful things too, right? Goes around, comes around. And it's funny because one of the things I hear with biracial people when they tell me, oh, they didn't want, they got tired of hearing the comments. Like even for me, I was in circles, pro-black circles a few years ago. I got tired of hearing people, you know, saying the term half breed very confidently and publicly. I was like, you're letting me know you're my enemy. I'm gonna have to fight you now. So when I hear that term, someone saying a half breed, I'm like, okay, I got you on a list. Okay, yeah, you're my enemy now. I'm focused on you. And I heard too many people use that term very publicly, nonchalantly, as if it's no big deal, right? That's a slur, in my opinion. And so the funny thing is when you have biracial people who are basically like, okay, look, I got tired of the insults or what she said, disrespect. You know what a major gaslighting tactic a lot of people will say to us? You guys just that's how we are in the community. That's how black people are. We pick on each other. We make fun of people. We roast each other. That's the term they use is roast. You didn't have thick skin. You couldn't put up with the roast. But when we put up with the motherfucking roast and we bite back, then we have somebody like this. I don't know this woman. I'm just saying we got someone like this who makes a YouTube video talking about y'all are being disrespectful. Y'all being disrespectful. I'm like, it goes both ways. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Let me continue on, fair use.
Say disrespectful comments, and it's like it's an entitlement to disrespect you. They want to disrespect you, and you're supposed to say it's okay. I don't know.
I kind of look at that as projection because like I've already, basically stated that it's I see it in reverse as well. It's like if you want to be in my group, you want to be down with the community and be down with the hood. You gotta let me make the light skin jokes. Oh, you just can't take the jokes. I'm like, dude, I could take the jokes. I got a ton of jokes back, and even I say some funny things here on the channel, and people, especially people who aren't even like, just random people have a lot of things to say about me. And so, it's interesting. I'm like, wow, you know, how can I even phrase this? It's crazy, man. People just want to pick and choose what to be offended by. Let me continue on for use.
For example, right? Meghan Markle. When I say rude, disrespectful comments, Meghan Markle, she said, I was treated like a black woman. At first, I was a fan, but when she said I was treated like a black woman, if you, as a biracial, you don't see how that could be offensive to black women, a comment, I was treated like a black woman. And it's like they don't even know that they're disrespecting black women by saying.
She mentions Meghan Markle, but, we're going to find out some of the kind of interlocking, we're going to find some things here that are very connected with a lot of people like this lady here and what her main grievances are, right, with biracial women. Now, she said initially she liked Meghan Markle, but after, yeah, because she got a white man and she's got a black mom, a black queen, and she got herself a white man. So, yeah, she said she initially liked Meghan Markle, right? But then Meghan Markle's like, oh, they treated me disrespectful like a black woman. So Meghan Markle was literally laying it out that, yeah, we're different. We're treated different in society. I'm treated like in this country like a biracial person. I know a lot of black people, monoracial, want to gaslight you. Oh man, when the police pull you over, man, they gonna treat you like a nigga, man. When we's on the plantations, you still as slaves and stuff too, man. So there's a lot of that gaslighting that goes on. But deep down, a lot of them, they instinctively they know, no, most of us, we're treated a little differently, especially depending on how we act. If we act civilized and decent, we can actually speak and articulate ourselves. then yeah, we're definitely, dressed a certain way. That plays a factor as well. Um, a lot of us are treated differently, right? Yeah. Okay, continuing on fair use.
If you're not a black woman, how do you know what a black woman is treated like? Because you're disrespectful, you're self-hating. Some biracials are self-hating. Why do you think her husband is pale like that?
She said, "Why do she said some biracials are self-hating." She's like, "Why do you think her husband is pale like that?" Well, the woman has a white father. That's the other part of the equation that she's leaving out. Biracial. She's two races. Okay, the lady can go either way she wants, and that's within her right and criteria. That's her birthright. But it's this need for this, over, this blackness, this kind of like I don't want to say this being politically correct, this need to kind of control and absorb, and like, you got to do what I do, and where they're very like, with men we call it de-policing, dick policing, right? They want to tell you who you should sleep with and who you shouldn't sleep with, and so politically motivated. She's doing the same thing, right, with Meghan Markle. um yeah, how can Meghan Markle be self-hating when she literally has a white father? You the CDO father. Remember, a lot of them, they pull that. You the CDO father. Okay, yeah, Meghan Markle, she's a white lady then, I guess, according to your criteria. Okay, all you little, Hebrew pro-whack types, CDO father. Meghan Markle is basically a white woman then. So she's with a white man, the Prince of England. That's within her right to do so. That's part of her lineage, her birthright. Um, yeah, let me continue on fair use.
Praying her babies don't come out with a tan because she don't know her genetic. When you say disrespectful comments like that, some black women are not gonna receive it well. I was treated like a black woman, Meghan Markle. I was a fan before, but I hated her after she said that.
There you go. That's the fourth time. I gotta have some type of buzzer or ringer here, because those are her words, not mine. I don't use the word hate that on this channel that much. If I have, you guys can go back, watch the other streams or whatever. There's probably on live streams where it's impromptu, but like my videos where I'm basically, most of it's scripted, I don't use the word hate because I understand the implications. A very powerful word. That's literally the fourth time this lady said the word hate in relation to biracial women. And like I said, the hate kind of manifests, it starts, it's jealousy and envy. And of course it mutates into this hate, which is, I'm telling you, I tell people, look, get the hell away from people who are jealous of you to a degree where they want to start hating you. Get the hell away from them. That's what I tell people. That's what I do. I'm living proof of that. So whenever she says hate, this is four times now. I'm gonna do this sound right here, right? Some Law and Order or something, because I'm like that. Those are some strong words there. Wow. Yeah, competition. The competition is thick out here, and this is globally. I mean, in America, yeah, South America, wherever you go, the competition's thick. So I thought about that too when I first saw this. I was thinking to myself, I don't know, should I say it? I don't know, man. Like, it's funny, you look at all this transgender and all this stuff. Like, I'd never change anything about me. My racial configuration, the fact that I'm dual heritage, white mother, black father, mulatto, that I'm a man. Like, I wouldn't want to change anything about me. I like who I am. And when I analyze myself, my personal situation compared to a lot of other people, I'm like, yeah, I like where I'm at. I'm doing pretty good for myself, not to be conceited, but just calling it, like it is. Let me continue on fair use.
It has something to do with the upbringing, right? It has something to do with the upbringing, right? You have to be mindful as a biracial person who you're.
No, I don't have to be mindful of shit as a biracial person. Okay. Um, but the upbringing part is very cute because, like I said, the criteria always switches. They're gonna basically try to weaponize. They weaponize the one drop rule against you to try to force you into a box underneath them with their established criteria to be a subordinate serving them, right? Because in their existence and across the lands, even in their own homeland, you look at like South Africa, they're underneath another group of people, right? You can look at the caste system here in the United States. Look at, South America. Like I said, even you look at places in South Africa, their own homeland. Another foreign group comes into the land and they're put above them. They bring in superior technology and advanced governmental system. And so they have nobody that's underneath them. That's where they need you. They need the biracial, the mulatto, to be underneath them to serve them so they can feel some kind of confidence and self-worth, because nobody else on the planet would take that position. But you biracials, a lot of you will, because you want acceptance. Okay. Instead of creating your own situation, your own group, collaborating, networking with other people, it's easier to just find a butt to kiss and beg for acceptance. I mean, to me, I'm looking at some of this stuff that I'm seeing and I'm laughing like, no. How much does it pay? How much does it pay? There is a price. Okay. Yeah, let me continue on fair use.
Speaking to, right? Because I've heard comments like, black and crusty. So if you're adult saying black and crusty and you're teaching your child that black is crusty, and they go around a dark-skinned person like me and they're biracial now and repeat that sentiment, black and crusty, it's not going to be received well, right? It's very
I'll just pause it here and say, just to kind of reiterate, because I think I've stated this before, I'll probably end up, posting some pictures in the future. So my black side of my family, they're all dark skin. So I never grew up with the whole light skin, dark skin, because nobody in my family was light skin. But I'm mulatto, I'm mixed. I got a white mom. You all know what I look like, so I'm light skin. So yeah, I'm the light skin guy around them, So I see things a little differently, is what I'm saying. And I've heard, there's people on YouTube who've done like light skin content and all this crap. But that's only when you're in a monoracial space, in a kind of black space, right? Where you do light skin, because literally nobody else on the planet is going to look at you as a light skin. Only darker skinned people. So that's something to think about. So yeah, the way I see these things are a little differently, because it's more of a genetic level with me, right? Heritage, etc., cultural upbringing, environment plays a key. I didn't grow up in a hectic environment where I had to prove myself in the way I see a lot of these people who didn't even have didn't have discipline growing up, have to prove themselves. Let me continue on, fair use.
Complicated being a biracial person, because a lot of the times your father is a black self-hating man and you don't know how to be a black woman because your mother is white.
She said a lot of the times, but remember, guys, because this is really what her main vendetta is. Earlier, she referenced Meghan Markle. Okay. She referenced Meghan Markle. She's like, I used to like her, but she said that they started treating me like a black woman, reminding you that there's a kind of a hierarchy here, right? She didn't like that. She was hurt by that. She's like, ugh, so now I don't like her anymore. She's offensive. Meghan Markle's got a black mom, right? So you see how the goalpost is moved. The criteria is always shifted to fit, whatever. That's what I'm saying. It's always, they're always switching it and changing it to try to reel you back in to serve as a subordinate, right? Meghan Markle's got a black mom, okay? But now you're switching it, talking about, well, a lot of you have a white mom and a self-hating black dad. As soon as I heard that self-hating, when she said how do you know that the black man's self-hating? Because he likes a white woman, or he likes an Asian woman, or he likes whatever. He likes what he likes. Like, why do you equate what a man's attracted to as self-hating? Almost like, well, he has to be loyal to his group or his race, where every other man on the planet has free reign to basically be with whatever woman they want to. But you have someone like this who's basically going to say, well, if you're a black man and you're attracted to an Asian woman, you like her culture, whatever, you want to be with her, she's going to try to frame it as self-hating. That's when I knew, when she used that term. Then again, the term hate, that's the fifth time, right? Let me put that here. What was that? Is that four or five? I lost count, guys. But she's used the term hate, so many times, but equating that self-hating black man, like, what about Meghan Markle? Was her mom a self-hating black woman? Uh-oh. But what I'm saying is the criteria, the goalpost is always shifted, okay? Continuing on, fair use.
And you don't know where to fit in. And a lot of times you don't fit in with your mother because she doesn't know what it's like to be a black woman. So a lot of the times, why black women do not like biracials is because how you are speaking, and you.
How we're speaking, right? How we're speaking, yeah. What was I gonna say about this? Yeah, because the competition, when I see her, when I'm analyzing this video, I'm like, okay, yeah, her competition is biracial women and white women for black men. It's kind of that love triangle, right? That's who she perceives as competition, right? She's competing with white women, and of course, some white women's daughters, biracial, women as well, for the access to the black man. Okay, this is what I'm seeing right here. I don't know this woman's channel. I don't really know too much. I just saw this video and I thought this was good material for me to cover. Like I said, I'm a guy, I'm a dude, I'm just an observer. So I know obviously there's more women who have more intimate knowledge of this. But I'm letting you guys know this is what I see out here. Okay, yeah, fair use.
You're, and a lot of times you don't know better. I know you don't know better a lot of times.
She put the title there, said be more conscious, be more conscious. So there's, like I said, you got to kind of tippy toe and walk on ice around the queen, or you don't want to upset the queen. You got to be more conscious. You got to watch how you talk. But then again, you biracials, you don't set rules for these people. You don't tell them, hey, you got to be, you don't, you know, you got to talk a certain way around me. You're going to act a certain way around me. See, you can do that when you establish your own space. You establish your own parameters. Then you can make the rules and say, yeah, when you come over here, you're going to deal with me a certain way. You're not going to just run your mouth. And I'm trying to tell mulatto specifically, but mixed race people, you guys got to wake up and smell the fucking coffee. This isn't 1962, okay, where people are getting gunned, sprayed down with hoses and shit. Where segregation. We're in a new era now, and you can make these decisions, but a lot of biracials are lazy. Like I said, it's easier for them to just beg for acceptance, and that's on them. But for the ones who have self-respect and have dignity and class, and who want, their own kind of sovereignty, I advise them, you guys got to create your own space, network with people, man, and set up some rules, and parameters. So you're not put in this situation where you got to, police your speech and be more conscious. But then, whatever, guys, I'm going to continue on, fair use.
Because of the fact that the way you were raised, you know what I'm saying? It has a lot to do with your upbringing, your way. I think that biracial women with white mothers have the hardest time finding their place, okay, with white mothers, because they don't know what it's like to be a black woman, right?
Well, they're not black women. They're biracial women. It's why people like Alicia Keys, people like Zendaya, I use them as examples because these mulattoes are very highly visible. Or even, Big Lotto, Miss Mulatto, whatever, she changed her name. They're highly visible. So yeah, they're kind of celebrities, media personalities, which those are the ones who are safe. The community is going to claim them every win, they need to, right? Because if they weren't claiming all the mulatto wins, half of the damn, icons in Black History Month, they'd lose half of the icons because half of them are mulattoes, right? And yeah, so those people, damn, what was I getting at with that? Yeah, she talked about being raised, right? Being raised. She said that it's that the biracial women who have white moms have it the hardest, which I feel like it's straight up cap. My sister is doing just fine. She has a thriving business, majority Caucasian women clientele, and college educated, married, has a family. Like I'm so proud of my sister. She's doing so good. My brother's doing good too. But yeah, I mean, so biracial women with white moms, like she's trying to make it seem like they're the ones who have it the hardest to be a black woman. Well, they're not black women. They're biracial women, and it's up to them to figure it out and make the proper moves. But I would advise people, I'm just giving advice, like I would not feel comfortable, or I wouldn't even, I wouldn't advise people to fall in line with what she's talking about, this lady, to just accept, your position, begging for acceptance to be a kind of to be a black woman. They're not black women. Okay, they're biracial women. It's a big difference. And Yeah, so that the one drop rule is weaponized against us, okay? And there's a lot of us who fall for it. I'm not one of them. So I'm more one of the uppity bougie ones out here, right? So yeah, continuing on, but I'm a dude as well. So I mean, like I said, the conversations I have with the men is different. But I saw this clip pop up. Like I said, I've already given my commentary on the guys. So I don't want anybody when they watch this to think you're talking about this because of a woman. I've already consulted some biracial women behind the scenes who saw this clip. They're the ones who shared it. So I guess as a disclaimer, how I found this clip was in one of the, one of my biracial, groups on social media. And it was the women who shared the video, started talking about it. And I put a couple comments, but I watched the clip and I was like, hey, why don't I just bring this on my channel and, talk about it? Probably some of the ladies are watching right now. But so I heard about this because of the ladies, biracial ladies were observing this and didn't like what was being said here. But I'm a dude, like I said, so I'm gonna kind of give my commentary on it. Let me continue on, guys. Fair use.
And they definitely don't fit in with whites, because whites are gonna um call them what they are.
But no other commentary on that, because you often hear that scare tactic from the community, right? You're not going to fit in with whites. Well, we're half white, and Meghan Markle's half white. She's married to a white guy. It's like, oh, the royal family didn't like her. I mean, yeah, she's still living pretty good, regardless if it was a royal family. There's still a lot of people within her social circles and network. She's doing pretty good. And I just told this woman, I gave not this woman, but I told you guys, give an example of my sister, who's a biracial woman who's half white. We have a white mom. My sister has a majority white client base, white women particularly, like over 95%. That's her market. She connects with them, and she's a college educated, a smart lady. And I'm sitting there like, this, for you biracials listening, watching this, observing this clip, you can't let people who are less intelligent than you try to frame the discussion to try to sway you and try to make you think the white people don't like you. Well, we're partially white. That's our birthright. And I love it. It's so entertaining and cute when you have a black person. Okay. Look at her. Okay. A black person who literally they have the kind of, you know, they have the audacity to act like they know white people better than you when you're literally half white. It's your blood, it's your family, you're at the dinner table, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the holidays, you were conceived from a white person. You grew up around them, but you have a person like this, okay, right, who's competing with white people for in the sexual marketplace, right? They're going to try to convince you, the biracial person, oh, they don't really like you. The thing I see now is why I have this channel. The main, one of the main functions of this channel, not only tell my story, connect with other people. The main thing is connect, because it's people and make the world go round, but it's to encourage other biracial people to realize, look, if this group of people or that group of people, if you feel a certain way, create your own space. There's people out here who are similar like you. Tell your story, connect with them, build something upon that, build relationships that can last. That's the whole position. That's the whole point of this. That we're not trying to fit in with them and fit in with them. You got to create your own lane, create your own space. But I love it how people like this are so confident. Well, the white people don't like you anyway. So, you got to come back over here and put up with my black bullshit because you don't have no other options. We have an option here. Okay. And this channel here is a channel, YouTube channel. I have other social media. This is what we call the third option over here. We have an option now. Okay. Let me continue on, fair use.
Biracial, but the black community will accept them because the black community accepts everyone. There's a lot of self-hate there.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I think they use that very loosely, that the black community will accept them, but there's terms, because this lady's even telling you she's got her notepad and she's got her pen, her pencil, and all this shit. She's like, well, they'll accept you because, self-hate. Well, they'll accept you because they need all the help they can get. Okay. Number one. Number two, um, yeah, damn, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. They'll accept you. But the thing is, with the whole acceptance thing, like I said, she has her notepads here. She's gonna educate y'all, right? Because she's smarter than you. They'll accept you, but you have to fall in line with their criteria, which is never, you know, it's always changing. The criteria is always changing and shifting to fit whatever political agenda they have in front of you, right? To serve. Remember, your position as a biracial when you're with people like her is to serve as a subordinate. You're never going to be the representation. They're always going to whine and cry when you get selected for a movie over them. They're going to call it black erasure. They're always going to whine and cry. So yeah, they will accept you as a punching bag, as a subordinate. Unfortunately, a lot of you people, you accept that position. Talking about the biracials. Unfortunately, but there's nothing I could do about it. Like I said, I've been, you know, making videos and live streams, whatever, for a year. It's like, there's nothing I'm going to do. I'm going to keep living my life. I'm going to keep traveling, meeting new people, building connections. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I definitely would like to encourage and inspire people. And I think I've kind of accomplished that as well, just from the short time that I've been up here. But I'm going to continue to do that more. But yeah, so like let me just to kind of put the icing on a cake. Yeah, there is acceptance, but you got to fall in line and be a subordinate. That's the part she's going to leave out. Okay. So fair use.
So a lot of the times the disrespectful comments, even you might think it's a joke, you might think it's a slide, the comparison, competition. I'm telling you, as a black woman, right? And I'm as a black woman, if you want to fit in as a biracial, you have to be more respectful to black women.
I like how that, what does that mean though, right? Very kind of vague. Okay, I'm a black woman. Okay, if you're as a biracial, you got to be respectful. But respect goes both ways, right? So what she's not letting you know, not saying, is that because she's in a majority group, right? When you're amongst their group, you're a subordinate, you're the other, right? So she's saying, okay, she can be disrespectful to you. You got to take it and put up with it. As soon as you say something back, oh, you're going to get outgrouped. You're being disrespectful, right? Because I'm sitting there thinking about this, like, you got to be more respectful. Like, why is it framed that biracial women are just so bad and that they're so disrespectful? Like, do you guys not see this? Like, how the discussion is being framed, that biracial women, she's talking about women, not men. Okay. But I'm a man and my sister is biracial. So I'm speaking for the honor and integrity of people like my sister, who I love, and the other beautiful mulatta biracial women who listen to me and some who don't listen to me. But we're going to talk about this here. Okay. So continuing on, fair use.
Number two, right? There's a rhetoric that goes, the colorism that you guys have, like the entitlement, thinking you're better. Why I say,
and then that right there, that the colorism you guys have, right? It's the whole discussion about the disrespect, the self-hate, and then you. It's very, standoffish, right? The colorism we have. All of my colorist comments, you hear me, I just laugh. Ain't even colorism, because it's all basically reaction. Okay, cause and effect. When you make these light skin jokes, and trust me, I've been seeing them and hearing them for years. Okay, just on the internet, because like I said, I don't associate with a lot of people like her ilk, I should say. If she was higher class or civilized, could articulate, then maybe I would. I've seen a few in college, university, but the colorist comments I make, it's all basically, like I said, reaction. When I hear people make, comments saying, oh, you're light skin, you're weak, or something like that, you're damn right I'm going to have a comment saying, coming back at you. And I did. There was some idiot on this channel who put a comment under my post. He said I said this a while on one of my other streams. He said some stupid comment about you're acting light skin. And all I did was tell him, yeah, it's the best skin. And he got really mad. It was a dude, some bum. But yeah, I mean, out here, it's the same shit. I had someone say some like light skin comment, and I said some very, colorist in racist terms, because I'm going to bite back. I mean, that's the whole position with this channel. This idea that you're going to punk me or whatever. I'm some guy behind a keyboard. If I'm not on YouTube, I'm out here, good luck trying to fucking punk me out here, because I will bite back, and I do. And I'm this position that I'm just trying to, be a subordinate or try to fit in, you got the wrong guy. I mean, there's other, like I'm saying, I've been observing a lot of these biracials. You can go talk to them. Okay, they're inferior channels. You know, go talk to them. Go try punking them. But with me, it's I'm gonna bite back. You're not gonna like it either. You're gonna cry and whine like you guys always do. Let me continue on, fair use.
Feel acting like you're better. I'm gonna tell you why you act like you're better. When you say somebody's jealous of my light skin, I've heard that so much in the comments. I did a comment on colorism, right? And
Yeah, it does happen a lot, right? Because but it's a truthful statement a lot of times, right? We know that. You literally have people out. You have a brand called Mulatto soap. People have literally established, designed a soap named after mulattoes called Mulatto soap. Go look it up. Okay. And so, yeah, there's a lot of truth to that, where there is people who are literally jealous of us because we're lighter skinned, the men and the women. So, what, we're not supposed to talk about that? But just by saying that to her, it's like it's offensive. You know, you guys got to be more conscious. You guys got to, watch your speech if you want to be down with the community and be in the group. And you can't be with the white group because they don't accept you. What happens when you go to the white group and you marry a white person? And you're in a white community, you're making money, living in a civilized society, what's the first thing they tell you? Oh man, he hates his blackness. He don't like being black. He hates his blackness. He married a white woman. He living with white people. He doesn't realize he's still black like me. I'm like, I want to say something else, but I'm going to keep this PG right here tonight, this evening. But I just find I love the kind of the swinging and shifting of the goalpost and how this game is always played. And yeah, it's very entertaining for me, at least. I mean, shit. Let me continue on, fair use.
And I did a comment on colorism and on a video, like just to boost up dark skinned girls like me and say, hey, love yourself, enhance your beauty, love your complexion. So nice.
Let me pause right here. Shout out to the cat here. When you said right here is very accurate. In the black community, it's not colorism, it's racism against mixed race people, precisely. But, exactly, that's the thing. But then I bite back and I say something racist, and it's like, a lot of people cry and whine. But they can only do that, when I'm telling you, when they're the majority, okay? Because a similar thing happens when I'm in a workplace or somewhere else where blacks are the minority, black men, and they might try to say some funny shit about me because I'm mixed race right in front of their white peers, but I'll bite back and say some racist stuff, and then they shut their mouth real quick because they know the whites aren't going to back them up. You want to pick a fight with me, and you think that the whites are going to be on your team or something against, and it happens a lot. They're very comfortable and used to that. That's why they're very bold now, getting online, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, wherever the hell they're at, running their mouth about biracials, right? They're very confident now, trying to punk you as a subordinate. But when you start biting back, and then their white massa doesn't back them up, they look real stupid. Now, like I said, that's when they're in a minority situation at the workplace, job site, school, whatever environment. When they're the majority, I mean, I just tell people, look, if you're not getting paid or entertained, I don't know what the hell you're doing there. If you feel comfortable, being underneath another group of people, have fun. But how much does it pay? You get fake acceptance. That's all. Okay, yeah, have fun. Let me continue on, fair use.
Nice and golden, so nice and brown and nice. And I'm like uplifting.
Oh, I wanted to catch that. I keep pausing, guys. I apologize. We're already like almost halfway through. You hear what she said? She said her skin is golden. For all you little golden Looney Tunes, let's play this.
And on a video, like just to boost up dark skinned girls like me and say, hey, love yourself, enhance your beauty, love your complexion, so nice and golden, so nice and brown and nice. And I'm like,
see that? All in one. All the ambiguous language, just and boost the confidence of dark-skinned women. So nice and golden in brown skin. You see that, guys? You see that? You literally have, I told you guys, I've been saying this. I figured this out within a month, a few weeks when I heard about the golden sphere. Okay. I knew that right away. It's going to have the same dark-skinned people coming into your fucking space that are going to try to police your speech and tell you how to talk. They're going to get you to relinquish the mulatto plight at the expense of monoracial sensibilities. So all the language, in vernacular and nomenclature that you establish for yourself, they're going to hijack it because there's no specificity. I don't see any of these people trying to call themselves mulattoes. That's why I like it. Only the specific few ones who understand this are going to utilize that term. Okay, the little scaredy cats and SJW liberal types, everyone, we're all the same, all this stuff. Yeah, they stray away from the mulatto term, right? But when you use terms like browns, I'm golden. She called herself golden. She's golden, I guess. Everyone's golden. I think I had a conversation or like a couple comments back and forth with George. We're talking about everyone in the Middle East. Most of those people are golden. You go to South America, everyone's golden, man. I guess that's the whole point of these people. You don't even have a fucking group. Something for everyone is nothing for nobody. So there again, you're there being utilized as a utility. So you have a woman who's a pro dark skin advocate who's now saying that she's golden. Yeah, you guys can, clip that, stamp it, clip it, or I'll probably end up clipping this myself. I mean, this is hilarious. I saw this. I was like, shit, yeah. Yeah, you call yourself mixed, all these people are going to start saying they're mixed now. You say you're biracial, all these people are going to start saying they're biracial now, right? Um, I think I seen some comment, no, because someone put a comment somewhere where they're basically like, we're all biracial. All Black Americans are mixed, have mixed blood, so we're all biracial. And like, this is where it's going, guys. Okay, they're gonna bring your ass back in to serve and try to police your speech because they try to do that with me over here on this channel. I laugh. I just block all you pieces of shit. Don't come over here. You can whine and cry on your channel, but this idea that you're gonna try to swayed me to speak a certain way. It's not. Good luck. I have a Cash App there. Hit the Cash App. Send me an email or whatever. We can talk. But if you're not sponsoring this program, this broadcast, I mean, you really can't say nothing to me, homie. Okay. Let me continue on. Fair use.
Lifting Black women, and it has nothing to do with tearing down light skinned women or mixed women. It's about the uplifting dark skinned women. And guess what? Now in the
The thing is, though, I get that. That's fine. She's like, it's about uplifting dark skinned women. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, and she's a very attractive woman. I mean, I can see here. I don't like the way she's talking. Um, I don't agree with it, so I'm being respectful, giving my commentary. But yeah, obviously, physically, you're looking at her. Of course, she's a very attractive woman, right? And she should use her platform, her channel, whatever she's doing to boost up the confidence of other dark skinned women. That's cool. But the thing is, when you have mixed race women who start doing that, all of a sudden, people are going to call them colorist. And it's been happening for the past few years with the whole, exoticals, United Sphere, and the whole golden sphere kind of thing. People frame those, different spheres or spaces per se as being colorist spaces. People do that. They say that because you have mixed race women who are, upholding their aesthetic, right? And their phenotype. They're embracing their phenotype. And you're going to have darker skinned women that are going to hate on them for that. So you can't win, you can't win if you play their game. You got to play your own game. Yeah, fair use.
comments, I know it's a Black man saying, "Oh, Black women are jealous of light skinned women." I'm like, this has nothing to do with light skin or mixed women. And he even said Black women are jealous of light.
Yeah, a shout out to the chat. Respect to the chat. Respect to all you guys. I guess I can kind of quick segue. Get to some of these comments real quick before I get back into it because I think it's almost halfway mark for the clip. We're about, yeah, whatever. It says, is she African, Caribbean, or Black American? From the accent, it sounds like she's Caribbean American because her channel name is New York, right? Her channel name is Real Talk New York with Janique. So I'm guessing she's Caribbean American. I don't know what that means because the rhetoric, I hear that the rhetoric she's spouting out, I hear that from the FBA, from Caribbean, from other people too. So in the black community, it's not. Yeah, I think I said that. You're right. Yeah, it's racism against mixed race people. I think I seen this right here. Yeah, the Owl Show says, "Be respectful." Translation: Bend the knee to me. Precisely. So you're smart enough and astute to understand that her choice of words or the semantics, she's very clever, but she's not as smart as she, thinks she is. Right. I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy, guys. I mean, I hold a bachelor's degree. Okay, but I'm smart enough to call out BS when I see it. And yeah, basically when she's saying be respectful, and she also said you got to be conscious of your speech, something like that. Yeah, to me the translation is bend the knee. It's like put up with my black bullshit, be a subordinate, don't bite back and don't fight back, because if you do, there's going to be a problem. Then she's going to make a whole YouTube video talking, critiquing you. But I'm like, the disrespect goes both ways, man. Mixed race women were forced to create mixed race spaces because of the disrespect they've been receiving from darker skinned black women. Okay. Because the mixed race spaces is primarily composed of mixed race women, from what I've seen. I first heard about the mixed race spaces through Instagram a few years ago, and it was because of the women. I saw how women were congregating with each other based on their hair, the unique hair that mixed race women have. And I was like, interesting. I had no idea you had a space specifically for mixed race women. Of course, this is American, like domestic. I think they had other people from around in the groups and stuff or on Instagram. But then I went on YouTube, did research and stuff. I was like, interesting. Yeah, it's always been heavily female dominated because there's more of a communal sense with women. There's more of a communal sense, and with men, we're definitely more individualistic, right? And yeah, so they forced these women, mixed race women, to create their own separate groups and spaces. They forced them to, right? The women are smart enough to see the writing on the wall, realize, look, you're not gonna try to punk me like you tried to in high school or whatever. So, and the mixed race women are doing just fine. What I'm seeing on Instagram with the collaborations, the networks, the type of business ventures, the markets that they're carving out for themselves, they're doing just fine. And trust me, I'm learning from a lot of them. You might not openly see me on this channel collaborating with a lot. I mean, Afro and Monica for sure, and some other ladies, like shout out to Flowers. So I do have a lot of support from mixed race women, but I've been observing a lot the past couple years, and the mixed race women are far more ahead with the communal functional sense than the men. Because with the men, you have like even the Owl Show kind of pointed it out. Instead of the HNIC, the head nigga in charge, we have the HMIC for the head mulatto in charge. So it's pretty sad and pathetic when you have a lot of these guys kind of jockeying for position. To me, it's all about performance. Show your work. Let the people decide. Let the public decide. Okay. And let me see what else we got here. When they didn't get exactly what they wanted from Obama, how they wanted, they hated on the man all over TV and YouTube. Yeah, precisely. Remember all the whole black community loved Obama. They're all crying. The first black president, Oprah, Wigfrey, Jesse Jackson, the rest of them, they're all crying. My hero, Obama, he got a black wife. Now, remember, they voted for Obama because he has a black wife, right? If Obama was with a white woman, they would have never supported him. Okay. It's because because that's, you see that kind of internal racism that a lot of them have. Because Obama was married to a black woman, that's why they supported him. But yeah, as soon as he didn't do their bidding for them, right, which is basically as the magical mulatto, he's supposed to make white people love him more, supposedly, or bridge the gap, be a tool to serve, right? And since he didn't fulfill his obligation, his unwritten obligation to the community, then they're all talking crap, calling him he's an agent. The white man uses the mulatto against the community. I mean, nobody has to do anything. I just sit back and laugh. I turn on World Star. I listen to all the hip hop shit that's out there with, all the rappers, the baby, spot him, got him. You look at this guy. I just saw Tory Lanez. They're throwing his ass in jail for 10 years for what he did to our the court case with Meg the Stallion, Greg the Stallion, because she acts like a dude, Greg, right? This is all black on black shit. But for whatever reason, they're gonna blame it on the mulatto. The white man's using a mulatto against blacks. I'm like, I just sit back and laugh at you guys. You guys do it to yourself, and it's pure entertainment. Okay, you're gonna entertain me, you're gonna pay me, and I'm gonna renegotiate my position with you. This fake acceptance and, oh, the white man don't like you. That's cool. There's a lot of people who don't like me. Get in fucking line. Okay. But there's a lot of people who do like me, and I'm networking and working with them every day, and I'm getting stronger and smarter. So let me continue on with this clip because I do respect your guys' time. So fair use.
Can mix woman with blonde hair, and I'm like, I don't even think blonde hair is beautiful. If you watch my channel, I always have black hair, and a lot of black women love their black hair. It's just very strange. It's just like you're forcing.
Yeah, it's funny. There was a chick, a dark-skinned chick. I told her that like a couple weeks ago too. She put a question out. Should I go back blonde or something? It's like, nope. Just stick to the black hair. Black hair is good. That's just a side note. Whatever. Continuing on, fair use.
Jealousy. If you think people are jealous of you, you should leave people alone. You should stop trying to be friendly. If you really have the idea that all dark-skinned women are jealous of your light complexion, I think the best thing for you to do, honestly, is not be friends with dark-skinned women if we are jealous. For real, that's the best way to find your space, because you can't go in a community thinking the women are jealous of you.
Well, the thing is like I said, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to generalize. That's not my whole position here. I'm not absolutist. I'm not saying all or generalizing or trying to overgeneralize, but we do have to be honest, right? And call a spade when we do see it. And there is a lot of jealousy, okay, with the women and the women and the men and the men. We all know that. Just very few will publicly admit it, but we all know that. So yeah, we're going to say that if we do see it. That's part of working out trade relations, because I'm looking at it in that standpoint. Like I say, renegotiate, social contract, trade relationships. It's a trade-off, quid pro quo. I don't need the black acceptance shit, but I am going to need some form of tangible payoff. That's just me personally. You can say what you want. I'm one lone guy out here, but wait till more follow suit, or they develop their own kind of specific criteria for their needs. It's already happening right now. You can, because I know a lot of people want to frame it. It's just this guy, this guy here, this mulatto griot guy with this YouTube channel. It's just him. Because I had some guy put a comment that said, I did a video response to it. He said, more than 80% of mulattoes are treated good in the community. All it takes is for that one. When it's that one, so they're scared of that one. They're like, oh, we got to make sure we kind of single him out and make it appear that it's just one guy. But yeah, it's 2023. You're going to see a lot more. It's not just one out here. Yeah, fair use. And she put there the kind of caption was, I blame black men. That's her words, not mine, right?
Find your space, because you can't go in a community.
You guys see that right there? I blame black men. So you know her audience. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were blaming biracial women. So who is it? Is it black men you don't like? Is it biracial women you don't like? Is it white women you don't like? Oh, wait. That's right. It's all three. That's got to suck. I mean, there's too many people that you're angry with. Too many people. But that's typical. That's what it is. I mean, it's the same with like the Cynthia G types, divester, dust vesters, same crap. They don't like black men. They don't like biracial women with white moms, and they don't like white women. Man, that's got to be a pretty crappy existence, As long as you're useful and you can serve a purpose, I don't have an issue with you. But yeah, whatever. Continuing on, fair use.
Thinking the women are jealous of you, because some women are minding their business. Some women are happy in their own skin, and you're forcing this jealousy thing, and it's colorism. When you're saying, no, you're not saying it, but okay, another reason why black women don't like some black women don't like biracial is because the triangulation with black men. The triangulation with black men, and I don't know if you know what triangulation means. Black men are narcissists for the most part, so they'll.
And then she's generalizing her own race of men, right? She probably doesn't even look like it. They're a part of her race. She probably thinks she's special. She's a black woman. I don't know. Just from what I see with a lot of content creators, it seems to be that way. Because, like I said, even within the black group on YouTube, they're kind of airing out all their dirty laundry, right? And they're talking about a space. We got to have a space. It's a fucking YouTube channel. If you want to have a space, go on Discord, go on a private group, Facebook, whatever. You're in a YouTube channel. Everyone's can listen, tune in. If you don't agree with me, put a comment. Let me know what you don't agree with. I could probably do a video response to that. I have no problem doing that. I only block people who get uppity and get out of line with me. It's not that many. I don't have that many trolls. I do have a couple creepy people who are obsessed with me, who have some issues, but I don't have really that many trolls. People don't troll me that much, which is good. But we'll see where it goes in the future. But yeah, like I said, I kind of went on a tangent, but you have spaces that are specifically for black women. They're titled, like I said, the divester spaces, or I call them dust vesters. That is a black female space, just like you have the black manosphere. You have black men spaces, right? And these are public spaces. They're not private. You guys, you're in a public platform. I don't know how you. And then you also have Black Women Empowerment. They call BWE, the acronym they use, right? So even within their own group, between the different sexes, they kind of separated and have their own little spaces, right? Um, yeah, let me continue on for use.
Triangulate black dark skinned women with mixed women. Oh, who looks better and running the competition. And then you come in, and then biracials will come in the black community flexing. I look better than a black woman. You're not a black woman, right?
But you guys see the contradiction right there, where she's basically stated, which I stated earlier. Yeah, she's not a black woman. I should have timestamped this. Yeah, she's like, you're not a black woman. I said that from the beginning. You talk about Meghan Markle. She got with the white man because she's a self-hater. I'm like, ma'am, Meghan Markle's not a black woman. She's biracial. But then here you see how they switch and flip and whatever to fit their little need or political need. They need someone underneath them to make them feel good. Right. And I'm just one of the guys out here that's like, shit, not for me. Not with me, I should say. I mean, are you paying? You got your pocketbooks open or what? But yeah, I was gonna see if I have a sound bite for that. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Fair use.
You're biracial. Your mother is white.
But even when I get when the mother's black, they're still gonna pull that on you, Like you said with Meghan Markle. She said earlier something about Meghan Markle.
Right? What a black woman is treated like, because you're disrespectful. You're self-hating. Some biracials are self-hating. Why do you think her husband is pale like that? She was praying her babies don't come out with a tan because she don't know her genetics. When you say disrespect,
she don't know her genetics. She don't know her genetics. She's self-hating. How can she be self-hating when she's not black? Like you stated, she's biracial, which means she can be with white or black. She can be whatever the hell she wants. That's the beauty of biracial people. They have that level of fluidity. It's our birthright of dual heritage. We can go wherever we want to go. And that's what her real issue is. This lady is just, like I said, the envy and jealousy. They're mad that they're stuck in a specific group, okay, with specific rules where we have more freedom to navigate and move around. That's all it is. I've always known that too. Like I've said to somebody earlier, was basically they look at us as that we have an unfair advantage. Okay. We get to be black and white at the same time, while someone like her, a lot of the people, the haters, okay, they can only be black. And that's their main issue with us. They're like, it's an unfair advantage that we have. Okay. Too bad. Okay. Continue on fair use. Yeah, where I left off at, where she's like, you're not black, you're biracial. Duh. Why? My whole question to you, ma'am, is why do you keep switching? I know why you keep switching to fit your criteria, because you want to use these biracials, right, as a subordinate to make you feel good and confident about yourself. I'm a real black woman, and the light skins of biracials, whatever, man. I think that game, like I'm saying, every year every month and year, like that game, it's just not going to really work that much with these younger people, man. Like I did a video with Jasmine, who's over on TikTok. She has like over 1 million followers. TikTok, she's got a big social media presence too. Her Instagram is pretty big. She has a massive following. Young lady, I think she's like 21, 22. She self-identifies as mulatto. And I'm telling you, like, she's one of many women. There's going to be so much more that are basically going to embrace the biraciality, the fact that they're mixed. They're not going to, you're not going to be able to bully these people. Okay. You're going to look really stupid doing it, respectfully. But continuing on, fair use.
Right? You're biracial. Your mother is white. All right. So it's like you're flexing on a black woman that's authentically fully black and saying that black women are jealous. That's a colorist, dark-skinned women are jealous. That's a colorist comment to make, because you're assuming, for you to even make that comment, you're assuming that white skin is beautiful. How do you know that everybody thinks white skin is beautiful?
Yeah, I wanted to pause, read this comment from a gentleman here. It says, the only people that are allowed to be proud of their skin tone are black people. Right. Exactly. It's only socially acceptable to be dark skinned and be proud of your skin around them. That's the key element there, around them, right? If you're around them and you say, I love my light skin, you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna be sad and crying. It says, which is frustrating. Biracial people should also be proud of their skin tone. You got to create your own space. And, like I said, the women are far ahead of the men in that regard, because the men, as Al stated here, HMIC, head mulatto in charge. The men are all competing, trying to fight for this position. For this number one spot, because they bring in that black ghetto culture into a new space. A lot of these men, okay, a lot of these mulatto men, they're bringing in that ghetto black shit, trying to be the top guy, the top mulatto guy. It's not really going to work. Not in a civilized society. You can, and stay over there with that HNIC stuff, or the HMIC. But yeah, like you said here with the women, the women, they've been working together, doing pretty well. Like I said, I'm taking notes. I'm looking at what they're doing. I'm like, well, shit. I started this channel uploading content because that's what I knew right away. I was like, there's a lot of women making videos and stuff, Exoticals United and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, where the hell are the men? You had a few guys, okay, and they're basically crooks, sadly. But there wasn't really any men doing it. I was like, I gotta be, at least let me lend my voice out here. Hopefully I inspire some others. Biracial people should be proud of their skin tone. Yeah, you got to create your space, man. If you're in environments with they're the majority, right? That's where your issue is going to be. Okay. Their rules are, you can only be proud to be dark skinned. As soon as you're mixed race and you're proud to be mixed, proud to be light skinned, they're going to get jealous, So if you want to avoid that, you got to create your own space. And trust me, they're going to watch you. They're going to listen to you. They're going to try to be all up in your space, of course, which is fine. It's public. I don't care what color t-shirt you have on, as long as you abide by the rules and regulations. And yeah. And then what they'll do is they'll try to tether their way in. Okay. They'll tell you, well, my great, 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 great granddaddy's uncle's cousin's next door neighbor is -2% European. So I'm really an MGM. So that's kind of their main trick they use to infringe upon your space. But this is public. This is YouTube. So whatever. Continuing on, fair use.
It's colorist. It's something within. For somebody to say, because I wrote down what I really broke down, because I really thought about that comment when light skin.
Man, she took a bunch of notes, guys. She's so amped up, angry and energized. She got her makeup did, her nails done, all that. She's got a whole notepad of notes. Oh man, you got all these notes, but you're saying a whole lot of nothing, respectfully. I mean, this is something I've heard this before. It just seems like you're jealous and envious of biracial women. And then sadly, in some ways, I kind of would be too, man, if I was a woman competing, because the hottest chicks, the most beautiful women are mixed race women. It is what it is. So, I mean, I can kind of see your frustration, but she used the word hate a few times here, right? And I'm like, that's a strong word to use. Like, don't let the jealousy and envy and the fact you can't compete with these gorgeous women, don't let it get to you so much to a degree where you're going to start hating on people, because then you got issues, you got mental issues. Okay, continuing on, fair use.
Biracial say that dark skin are jealous of them. I really tried to break it down, like why they're saying it, and I'm thinking when they're saying it's really colorism. It's a way for them to say my skin is lighter than is better than yours, and it's really not. And a lot of black women love their skin, and it's just like it's the competition thing. That's a huge reason why saying that black women are jealous. Black women don't like y'all sometimes because of the rude comments that you make.
But what about when it's in reverse? What about when you make rude comments to biracial? See, you expect these women to just put up with it, and they're not. I mean, not all of them. A lot of them are, you know, and then they typically fall in line with the social justice work, being good little liberal lackeys, you know, and they fall in line with intersectionality, or they become, you know, alternative lifestyle. But a lot of these mulatto, they're not falling in line with that today. Like I said, I've already, you know, talked about it with my own experimentation. When social media, TikTok, etc., you know, ladies like Jasmine, even in the YouTube spaces with like Exoticals United, these specific kind of spaces, um, yeah, the women aren't going to put up with that crap. Where it's like you can talk to them however the hell you want, call them preferences and make all your jokes. But when they say something back, then you want to make a video and cry and complain. Y'all being disrespectful. That's why black women don't like you. I'm like, it goes both ways, man. This one-sided relationship, I don't know who the hell is going to sign up for that. Not me. If you got self-respect, you're not going to sign up for this crap where it's okay for one group of people to talk down on you, say, you know, slick comments to you, but you're just supposed to hold your tongue and put up with it. Fuck that. Continuing on, fair use.
Make the rude comments. It's not because we're just, and then to women that's authentically black. You're forcing yourself in our space and cutting down. It's like you're acting like your black father. You have the behavior.
So you see that you're forcing yourself into our space, right? What's the solution? Create your own space, right? Problem solved. That's your solution from all that foolishness. Because I realized that because I was getting outgrouped a bit in a particular black male space. And I was like, okay, yeah, fuck you. I'm going to go create my own space. You know, it's working out pretty good for me. I'm doing good. I'm only improving with every day, with every video, with every broadcast, whatever. I'm always improving. So it's been working out good for me. And yeah, that whole subordinate relationship, I don't know. If you have self-respect and dignity, you're not going to tolerate that for long. Okay. So basically, I'm up here to encourage people to basically get moving, start to network, look who's doing what, take notes, and develop something of yourself. And hopefully, you can attract some people to your space, right? But then she framed it again, black man. Her beef with biracial women is because she's, like she said, competition as well. Yeah, because she's competing because the black men, they have a preference. They call the biracial woman a preference. And you're jealous and mad about that to a degree where you want to start hating the women. Not because the biracial women have done anything bad to you, not because they've made any colorist comments or anything. It's because you're so angry and mad that black men that you want, they're choosing another group of women over you. You're so mad and infuriated by that fact, you want to start hating the women and trying to punk and bully the women because they're competition for what you want. And everybody sees it. The whole world sees it because you people go on social media and you express your grievances. Okay, we all see it. And it doesn't look good, especially for you. For the ladies doing that, it doesn't look good. It comes off as being desperate. It doesn't look good. Let me continue on fair use.
Authentically black. You're forcing yourself in our space and cutting down. It's like you're acting like your black father. You have the behavior of your black father. And I'm saying that's the reason why, or your self-hater, whatever self-hater that created you, you have the behavior of that. You cannot come in and you could talk down to someone.
There's a lot of projection right there, though, huh? Whatever self-hater created you. What if it was someone who loved themselves, who was like, shit, my father was a military man, very accomplished. I mean, there's people who will say that and throw it out there. Oh, he hated himself. Really? Where's the evidence? Because people who hate themselves, they have a pretty cruddy lifestyle. They're eating crappy food. They're doing drugs to cope with their self-hate and depression. And some people, it's so damn extreme with their mental illness, they're like cutting themselves, right? Those would be clear signs of self-hate. But see, the way that these type of divester type people, the women who can't compete for the men they want, they try to frame the black men they want. They try to frame them as self-haters because they're choosing other groups of women. Maybe they like that woman. Ever thought of that? You're a self-hater. You got to choose me, put up. Because see, the same thing that this lady, then again, I don't know this woman, just providing my commentary. The same tactic she's using to biracials to try to tell these biracial women, you got to put up with my black bullshit and let me disrespect you, but you can't disrespect me, or I'm going to call it colorist. The same crap she's pulling with the women, biracial women, she's trying to pull that same crap with black men, right? She's trying to tell the black men, you got to choose me. If you don't choose me and put up with my sassy ass and big mouth, well, then you're a self-hater. No one's going to sign up for that deal. That is a horrible deal. And what makes you think make the rules out here too, ma'am? That's the funny thing. Just because you got, some implants, you're in good shape, you got some makeup on, what you think you make the rules out here? The market decides. The market makes up the rules. You're in a highly competitive market. Okay. And now it's a global marketplace. It's not just America now that we have social media, we have mass transportation. You could, $1,000. I think I just looked at a flight for Brazil, 600, $700 round trip. You can fly to a whole nother country, hop on Tinder, my Instagram. Okay. I have contacts around the world. It's a global marketplace, highly competitive. Okay. Don't, the market's going to decide. Don't, your hate is not going to solve any of that stuff. You're shaming people and hating people, whatever. It's only going to get more and more competitive out here. You got to be able to adapt and adjust to the climate and the changing conditions. Let me continue on. Fair use.
Somebody about their complexion and expect them to love you. I don't get offended much, but this a biracial even said something to me recently. Said, I notice dark people stink. They have a smell, right? Listen, I notice dark people stink. They have a smell, and I said to myself, "You're coming."
Yeah, and that's one biracial person. So what I would suggest her is some biracial person who makes a kind of a out of pocket comment like that, that's saying dark people smell. I mean, take it up with that person. But for my advice would be to don't try to throw that on all biracial people, that we all think like that we have a hive mind. Because what I've come to realize is a lot of dark skinned people have a hive mind, as we've demonstrated with Kwame Brown and the other Chrissy, the content creator, Chrissy, dark skin. Through my own basically analysis, I've realized, a lot of them, they got a hive mind. So when you have this biracial who's trying to say that, darker skinned people smell, I mean, you should, instead of hopping on YouTube, which is your channel, you do whatever the hell you want, but maybe run it through with that person, because I talk about behavior. I don't really talk about people's hygiene because I can't, it's an individual basis, okay, with everyone else's hygiene and stuff. But I talk about behavioral patterns that I notice that I feel like it's noteworthy of commenting on. There are a couple of biracial guys who are fools and tools, but I found most of the biracial guys I come across on YouTube are okay. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked J4 Conversations, I really liked him. Definitely level-headed academic approach, well-mannered, um, toenail breaker who doesn't upload content, but he's very active commenting here and there, a toenail breaker. So you have a really lot of good stand-up biracial guys. Even behind the scenes, or people I talk to, you got Celtic Mulatto. So you have a lot of good people too that I do appreciate their comments and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. Let me continue on. Fair use.
So you want people to like you and you're saying stuff like that? Is there any logic there? I was so shocked of that behavior. The behavior. You got to, before you chalk it up of people not liking you only because of your skin tone, look within yourself and look at your behavior pattern. Your behavior. Stop assuming, because when you say somebody's jealous of your skin, you're automatically acting like your white mother. Because not.
You guys see that? I love that, because it's like, I know the triangulation is that she's jealous that black men will choose a white woman over her, okay, and then they'll have a biracial daughter. And then now she's that biracial daughter is going to be more competition for her to get another black man. See, this is what it is, man. You know, because who is she talking about? She's not talking about biracial men in this clip. After, I mean, she might, after she sees me, shit, she might have something to say about me, but she's talking about biracial women. And then white women, you're acting like your white mom. You know what? It's because your black dad, a self-hater black dad. I'm like, wow, is this not so typical? Haven't we all heard this before? This is all that dust vester rhetoric, right? You just got to compete. And I'm looking at you. I mean, I don't know. You're very attractive. You have no issue getting guys. I mean, I don't know why you're making these videos complaining about biracial women. Biracial women are the hottest chicks out here. You got to compete. You know, don't have to hate. You know, I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. But whatever. Continuing on, fair use.
Some black people love their skin. So you're going to come up to somebody like me, and I love my skin, and I was raised to love my skin and my blackness. I'm proud of who I am and the culture that made me, created me, right? Proud of my ancestors, right? So for you to come up to somebody like that and start flexing, you can flex your light skin in the appropriate place. You're doing it at the wrong place. Not all black.
She's trying to establish those parameters, right? Those rules and regulations. Who signed up for that? If you want to be around them or they're the majority, that's basically, these are those unwritten laws, essentially, that you have to abide by if you want to be in those spaces, right? If you want to make up your own rules, create your own space. But I love that kind of setting the parameters, essentially, right? Continuing on, fair use.
Black people think the same. So it's very hard for biracials to fit in because of multiple things. Number one, because of the competition. She got them notes.
She's got them notes. She said it's hard for biracials to fit in because of competition. And I already stated it's highly competitive out here, okay, for men and women. But for men, obviously, there's a different criteria. For us, where it's highly competitive. And I embrace the competition because it makes me stronger. It gives me it motivates me to work harder, to build, to go put in more rounds in the heavy bag, to go run a couple extra miles, to do 100 more push-ups, to put in more hours at work, to study more. Like, I love the I'm a highly competitive individual, but like I said, the competition with men, it's a little different than with the women, where a lot of things are solely based on the being able to attract a mate, right? The attraction component. And a lot of women have an advantage in the marketplace because they have an aesthetic that's extremely pleasing. And also it can kind of cross cultural and racial boundaries, where when I was in Las Vegas, it was very common for me to see, mixed race couples, meaning the mixed race man and mixed race woman. And I'd also see mixed race women with Hispanic men, which is common too. And you'll see his mixed race men with Hispanic women. So I'm saying for a lot of us, we do have a lot of advantages because we can definitely fit into other groups. Okay. And we can get access to other groups in ways that'll probably be a little more challenging for you. So it's competitive out here. And yeah, let me continue on. Fair use.
Like I said, competition with men. A black man came on this channel that's made a comment saying that, dark-skinned women are jealous of mixed. Oh, okay. Go in my comments. Okay,
now, and obviously, that's why I have some of you here that are this late at night listening to me, which I appreciate it. Hit the like button, But of course, the way I kind of titled this stream was very general like that, to basically get people to be like, oh, what the hell is he talking about? Right? Black women's jealousy of biracial women. Obviously, I'm not saying all, like I said, I'm not trying to generalize, but there are those a lot who are clearly jealous of biracial women, but not all, right? Just want to, reiterate that for people. But I think using a title like that does help because it sparks interest. What the hell is this guy talking about? He talking smack, man. I don't want him to have freedom of speech because I'm a communist and my white massa is gonna have my back, and we gonna teach him a lesson, whatever. Fair use.
that I the video that I did about colorism, the last video that I did, and read a comment in there. There's a gentleman saying that a lot of dark skins are jealous of my biracial girlfriend, that her skin is light and her hair is blonde. How do you know that that's the reason?
And you got to think too. She took the bait. It was probably some black guy who was trolling your ass. He probably didn't even have a biracial girlfriend, or he probably did. She could have been ugly and fat. Who knows? But he was just doing that because he knows a lot of women are insecure, right? About whatever their looks, whatever, their skin tone or whatever it is, or their weight, whatever. So that guy probably was just trolling you, most likely, and you took the bait. And he knew he could get under your skin by saying something like that, and you took the bait. So now you're commenting on it, because that's what it sounds like to me. you know, yes, you mentioned it. Yeah. Continuing on, fair use.
Why black women are jealous. They could be jealous because she has a man. They could be jealous because she has a relationship with her kids. They could be jealous because she's a good performer. How do you know? Because you're colorist. You're forcing colorism on us. That's the reason why. When you say somebody is jealous of you because of your complexion, you're saying that people don't like their own complexion. It's disrespectful comment. Maybe somebody who bleaches their skin and have self-hate issues, maybe you could go and flex on those people. Maybe the space that you're in. You got to be mindful of the space that you're in. You cannot disrespect all black people. Some black people will tolerate because they hate themselves. Where the problem comes in is when you go disrespect black women who love themselves, confident black women. That's when the problem comes in. The problem comes.
And like I said, it's probably I'm just pausing it because I don't want the copyright thing. Yeah, but like I said, that guy probably was trolling her. Got a reaction. It's very easy to kind of trigger people, right? I mean, I know because I do it. Here, and a lot of people take it, and I just laugh at them too. Especially older people too. I'm finding out a lot of older people, outdated, antiquated, no wins under their belt, nothing to offer, but because they're 20, 30 years older than you, they want to act like I'm supposed to give a shit about what their opinion is when clearly you're a loser. you know I don't care that you've lived longer than me. Where the hell are your wins? Do other men look up to you? Do other men respect you? Because that's what I look at. I look at the men who can command an army. I look at other men respect. Okay, then those are the guys that they basically command respect. But if you're an older guy, you're older than me, you have no business, you don't have any other men who respect you like that. What the, what? I'm supposed to respect you just because you've lived 20 years longer than me? 20 years doing nothing. 20 years not motivating any people, accomplishing anything, building anything. No, no, no. You're not an elder. You're an older, right? Those are for the old heads who whine and cry about me. But let me continue on, fair use.
Comes in when you're trying to force black women to worship your light skin when they don't even notice you. Seriously, some black women are minding their business and they're like forcing on themselves to, oh, I'm light skinned. I'm like, girl, why you just be normal? It's hard. It's very hard to be biracial because a lot of times I think it's hard to be biracial because number one, the competition with women. Number two.
Okay, so she's saying the woman aspect, right? It's hard to be biracial because she said the women. Okay. Yeah, because she could have said that it's hard to be biracial. I don't think it's hard at all. Like I said, I wouldn't want to change anything about it. I love being biracial. So I do think there's some projection there because I do hear that a lot. Unfortunately, it doesn't help that you do have biracial people out here who will try to basically come out here and try to say that it's hard to be biracial. I'm not going to name names,
to
okay? But there are people who more so the social justice warrior kind of leaning people who want to put that out there. And I'm like, okay, well, if you do that, if you say it's so hard for you because you don't fit into this space or that space, these other groups, these people, they're going to use that against you and use it as a weapon to attack you, okay? To guilt you, to crawl back in to serve them, right? So I don't know why biracial people would get up here publicly, with their grievances as far as not fitting in and stuff like that. Like you already have a the solution's already been laid out for you. And you already have a ton of spaces. Build upon it. Create your own space. I didn't like what I saw, like I said, because I heard these people calling themselves golden. We're golden people. Now, here you have 3 days ago when this lady published this video. She's a dark skin advocate. Okay. And she's a beautiful woman for sure. But she called herself golden. See, that's why I don't use these broad terms. You're going to call yourself mixed race. Well, all of these people are going to start calling themselves mixed race tomorrow. All 80% of Black Americans got mixed bloods, and your ass ain't mulatto, okay? And so, whatever. I mean, continue on, fair use.
The disrespectful comments that you guys don't even know is disrespectful, right? Some of you guys don't even know better because you're raised by a self-hating father, right? And that's what it is, like the disrespectful comments and the competition. And then like when somebody like me is like, you're replacing an authentic Black woman that's fully Black.
That's that whole replacement theory you hear a lot of the Black extremists use, right? Erasure. The erasure is one more of a innocuous term of choice that the Black guy, pro-Blacks will use. It's Black erasure, right? It's more of a more innocuous academic term. But then this one will say the replace, right? So I want you guys to, take notice of that. Take notice when you hear these words, these buzzwords that they use dealing with you. And what they're doing is they're trying to get you, like I said earlier when I started this clip, they're trying to get you to bend the knee, to serve as a subordinate. They're trying to lay out they're very, fragmented kind of criteria, or I don't know if the proper word to use this late, they're trying to get you to fall in line to their rules, but they have a hard time articulating exactly what those rules are, the criteria. They basically want to be able to clown you, disrespect you, but they don't want you to do it back to them. Okay. And that's what she's basically stating here. Yeah. Fair use.
But you could never fit in the white community. How come the white people don't accept you guys?
And again, that's the second time she stated that, when we've already said the white people do accept a lot of these mulattoes. They've historically always had. That's why a lot of you people, Black people in America, are fucking haters. You're mad that the biracials are accepted by white people. It's our fucking birthright. We're half white. What the hell do you expect? Like, I'll share this image here. You got Patrick Mahomes, right? Majority white fan base. This is his daughter. Okay, this white man, or a mulatto man, half white, has a white mother. This is his white wife. This is his daughter. Majority white fan base. He is accepted by white people. Now, he's a celebrity. Okay, so this is another example, because it works the same way with, the community, right? They want all the claim all celebrities. And trust me, all the community people will claim him. They need to desperately claim all your wins, right? And this is a clear example of being accepted, assimilated, so to speak, into the white community. Now, this is one of the number one sports athletes in America, right? Patrick Mahomes. So, again, I'm just using this example because I thought about this being accepted into the white community. And it's like a lot of us are. Like I said, I gave an example of my sister, a personal example, you guys. I don't have any photographs to prove it, but just take my word for it if you want to. She has a majority white female, white women client base. Okay, most of her students are white women who pay her, professionally pay her, and she's doing just fine. My white sister. So my my mixed race, sister, right? Biracial sister. So I'm sitting there like you have a lot of people in the community, black people, who want to act, they use that tactic. It's very common for them to say that, oh, the white people don't accept you, so you got to put up with my black ass and all the bullshit I throw your way. You don't have a choice. That's also why they like the term biracial or mixed race more than mulatto to them, because it's more biracial. Mixed race is more ambiguous, it's more fluid. Anybody can jump in it and jump out of it, like golden. They like those terms because it doesn't mean anything, because then they can throw you in and out of blackness. They can weaponize the one drop rule against you. When here in the United States of America, we've had a racial category called mulatto for almost 200 years, right? It was removed in 1930 census, but we've had it since 1790, where there was clear lines of distinction. There was a whole independent category called mulatto. Clear lines of distinction, and that's coming back as well. And there's obviously there's different terms they use now: multiracial, right? Biracial, depending on the state. The federal level, they have two or more races. So it's coming back slowly but surely that there is lines of distinction here. So this idea that white people they don't accept you, so you got to put up with my black ass. I mean, I laugh at that because it's like, how many times you guys going to continue to say that? Like, you act like white people better than us when that's part of who we are. It's part of our family. Like, you have so much knowledge. It's all projection. You're just mad that you can't fit in with white people and we can fit in better than you. That's really what you're mad about. Let's just call a spade a spade. Okay? I'm trying to tell mulatto people specifically, but mixed race people broadly, generally, you guys got to accept yourselves and look for other people who are similar like you and try to develop some type of cohesion with them moving forward. Okay, to avoid all this foolishness where people who want to weaponize the one drop rule and they want to use you to be a subordinate and outgroup you. You guys got to create your own spaces, man. Create your own defense network, protection network, your group. I mean, the solution's there for you guys. I'm just a messenger, one of many. There's going to be a lot more. Okay, continuing on, fair use.
Why? Because you're replacing black women and you're saying disrespectful things. Some black women are just minding their business.
That's that whole, I pausing real quick just to kind of cover that, like I said earlier, the replacing. It's like supremacist language. You're replacing us, right? And then, of course, the more kind of academics, innocuous erasure, replacing erasure. How can we when we're recognized as our own separate group, our own independent group, I should say, because semantics is important. Because if you say separate, they're going to whine and cry, and call you a separatist, so semantics is important. So if you say independent functioning group, okay, self-autonomous, okay, then that's more acceptable, right? But yeah, fair use.
They're not in competition with you. Some black women just want to relax. You don't know what authentic black women are going through. They don't want to be bothered anymore. I'm being honest. We just want to be left alone. You coming up to black women and say you're jealous of me and the constant rude comments you got to learn how to calm down, be yourself.
She says you got to learn how to calm down. She's talking to biracial women, okay? She's talking to biracial women. When she says that, you got to learn how to calm down. She's basically saying you got to learn how to kind of check yourself, or what they say, get off that pedestal. Get off that pedestal. You got to learn how to calm down. I'm like, ma'am, you look pretty feisty in this video here. You look very, very feisty, very energized to do this, upload this video. But she's saying biracial women, to calm down. Like, just, relax, know your place, beg us for acceptance. It's funny. Yeah, fair use.
I don't know, it's like, and maybe, you just don't fit in with black women. Sometimes you just got to go where you're tolerated and accept it.
Yeah, that's my solution. I tell people, create your own group. Okay, because to me, with the dudes, I'm like, look, and I'm still pretty cordial and respectful. I'm in black men spaces, so if I have black men over here, like I had a gentleman I collaborated with, shout out to the author, Bobby, over at Angst Vision, shout out to him. So yeah, I mean, who am I to go into other people's spaces and then they come over here and I'm no, 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 this is a public platform. If I'm over on anybody's channel or anybody's chat or wherever, if I'm over there, they're all going to be welcome to come over here. That's just the way it is. Okay. This is a global network we're in, and we're going to connect with people, and we're going to have to learn how to work and coordinate with people. That's why I use the term independent functioning rather than separate. Because, realistically, for the people who want to separate and all this stuff, good luck. I don't know how that's going to happen in today's world unless you live in some remote off grid, area environment. But yeah, for me, what was I getting at with that? Yeah, it's extremely hypocritical for me to try to go into other people's spaces like a black man space and then go over there and be all cool and all this stuff. And then like if they come over here, I gotta tell them, no, you can't be no, I can't do that. I don't it's not within me to do that because I have integrity and I pride myself in not being a hypocrite. And if I am, if there's something I do that is hypocritical, point it out to me. Put a comment, let me know, and I'll definitely address it because, like I said, I still consider myself young. I'm early 30s, but I'm learning. I'm learning every day in this part of life. So I'm always open to being educated and correcting behavior. So, but you got to be respectful, right? If you want me to respect you, you got to be respectful back. So those are the rules. But continuing on, fair use.
Because a lot of black women is not going to accept you as black if you're biracial. Because you are not black, you're biracial.
Duh. That's why the solution is to create your own space, which a lot of these women have. What you're saying now, because this lady uploaded this video 3 days ago, this has been going on for like past few years, and I just took notice of it. And I was like, oh, interesting. So the women are actually doing something out here. Like there's a communal sense, there's a network, and the men are way behind. Okay. I don't know what the hell a lot of these guys are doing. I try to work with a lot of them, and I have, and I will in the future as well. But it's so impressive when I see what a lot of the women are doing, mainly in Instagram. That's kind of the app of choice versus what I see what the dudes are doing. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are doing stuff. Maybe they're kind of more clandestine, and quiet about it in front of guys like me. Who knows? But I'm just impressed at what biracial women, like I said, are doing. Because this video, this lady, all her kind of venom and animosity is towards her competition, which is biracial women. And you're trying to tell them, oh, you're not black, you're biracial. Yeah, they know. They got the point. That's why these women created their own spaces. And it's working out pretty good for these women. They actually have business and networks now where they're, coordinating with other biracial women and their businesses. They're collaborating. They're doing just fine. And the men can actually learn something from them. I know I am. Um, and so yeah, what this lady's saying, like it's been going on for a few years now. Okay. Let me continue on for use.
And some black women believe that biracials are replacing authentic original blacks.
Yeah, and that's like I said, the common kind of pro-black conspiracy theories that they push. They talk about replacing or eraser. That's all pro-black, black extremist rhetoric, right? Fair use.
That's what they believe. And for you to force yourself and saying these rude comments, be mindful what you're saying. Sometimes when women or black women are not jealous, and it's very socially acceptable to talk down on dark skin, because I've seen lighter skinned black women.
Yeah, and I would just pause here looking at her, like I would, if I was her, I don't know what the hell, she'd be jealous of. Seems like she has no issue attracting guys. Yeah, I don't know this woman. I saw the video, so I wanted to comment on it, but I'm looking at her like she does should not has no issue getting any kind of guy. So I don't know, like, but she seems very passionate about this subject, right? Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, fair use.
And just walk around and saying, "Oh, black and crusty," and some self-hating black people will accept it. But when they say it around me, I'm gonna check them. I'm gonna say you're white and dusty, you're pale, and you can't handle the sun. Go put on your umbrella. I'm gonna say rude things back. So you got to be mindful that there's some people might not open their mouth and say. You got to be mindful of things that you're saying.
And it works both ways. Okay. It works, like I said, it works both ways. You got to be mindful too what you're saying. But see, you're in their spaces. You got to play by their rules where they're the majority, right? You're the minority. You're the little biracial trying to get acceptance. I mean, you put yourself in that situation. When you create your own space, okay, when the mixed race, the biracial was the majority, they come into your space as a guest. You make up the rules, okay? This is just logical. This is how the world works. It's been working like this for millennia. It's nothing new. This is human behavior. And yeah, so vice versa, basically. The respect thing goes both ways, okay? So yeah, fair use.
I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that helps. I don't know. Hopefully it makes sense about why black women. It's just like you're taking dark skinned black or authentic black women place and just also being disrespectful. And I know it's disrespectful.
So taking their place, taking their man, supposedly this ownership. But yeah, it's that whole like eraser, replace erasure, taking their place. Maybe these women just want to exist. You ever thought of that? That there's no political agenda behind them. They're just human beings conceived through love. I know you don't want to believe that. A lot of women with this kind of divester, kind of black woman empowerment mindset want to believe that that the black man is self-hating, and then working with white women against black women and all this stuff. There's a lot of conspiracies going into that, but maybe I would say a lot of these biracial women just want to live their life, want to live a good quality life, which I know within my family that's the case. They're living a good quality life. I can't speak for everybody, but I'd like to think that way. But yeah, fair use. We're almost done, guys.
Because subconsciously inside you think you're better. I've had lighter skinned women pretend that they were my friends and thrash me behind my back, and subconsciously I know it's because they believe that they're better than me. I've had biracials, girl, that's so, and the entitlement, forcing yourself on every boy. Not every boy thinks you're attractive. I'm sorry to say that. Not every guy thinks you're attractive. You're forcing yourself when the guy wants somebody else, and you're forcing yourself. You got to wake out of the delusion. Sometimes you think that because you're light skinned and black men are like self-haters or are boosting.
Yeah. I'm laughing because it's like this. I've heard this all before, right? This is not an academic discussion. There's no real new, information that she's sharing. A lot of it's personal experiences, which of course it's per channel, just like I share my personal experiences here. But I just don't like the generalizing framing of biracial women when just admit that it's competition. It's very competitive out here, man. And I'm like, when I was living in San Diego, Southern California, I'm like, man, depending on what area in the country, United States you're at, it's highly competitive. I mean, Southern California has some of the most beautiful women on the planet. It's highly competitive. And so, don't be mad at the competition, just be better. I'm just taking that's advice for me as well. I'm taking my own advice. But yeah, whatever. Continuing on, fair use.
You up. You got to get out of the delusion and live in reality. You cannot force yourself on black women because number one, some black women feel like you're replacing us, right? And number two,
and those are the extremist ones too. Like I said, the replacing and the erasure. You hear those buzzwords. So for all you guys listening to me, my audience, people listening, whenever you hear these buzzwords about erasure and replacing, okay, that's all extremist rhetoric, and that's all directed at the mulatto mixed race individual. I got to use mulatto now in this context more specifically because she's laid it out. The white mom, you got a white mom, black dad. Okay, that's what they're talking about. They talk about erasure, right? Because when you say mixed race, that just means anything. This lady will end up calling herself mixed race next Tuesday. A lot of them do. In order to pull your ass back in to serve their pro-black agenda, that's what they do. Well, I'm mixed race too, so so you're dark skinned today, you're golden and brown and all this stuff, and then tomorrow you're mixed race. Okay, got it. Yeah. Well, see, for me, it's different. I'm mulatto. Okay. So the specificity is needed to have a real dialogue. But yeah, fair use.
The stuff that you're saying, you might not think is disrespect. I've heard it myself, like saying derogatory comments. I've heard other black people say, "Oh, you're 2 shades darker than me." And I'm like, what? Are we in the MAC store? Are we looking for foundation? Why are you commenting on my complexion? It's just like, oh, the competition. It's just the weird shit. It's the weird shit. That's why. It's the competition, the weird shit. Like, oh.
Well, I knew that from the second she basically, the first word she uttered. I was like, this is just smells like competition. And yeah, it's a highly competitive sexual marketplace. Okay. And you're gonna have to compete with these women. I mean, you're a woman. Like I said, I thought about this the other day too. I think I already mentioned it on the stream. Shit, how long I've been up here for, like, what, almost 2 hours. Just as a dude, as a man in this world, is highly competitive. But I embrace the competition because it makes me stronger. It forces me to work harder, and it helps me develop character that way. But I think there's a lot of women, maybe like her, where she's probably had an advantage a lot, but maybe she's getting older now. Okay. And technology, like the plastic surgery, Botox, it can only do so much. And you're seeing a lot more biracial, a lot more mulatto women, because a lot more, we're being born every day, or our numbers are growing. And so you're seeing a lot more of us, and things are getting more competitive because we look good. Okay. Not all of us, clearly, not all of any group of people, but just per average, a lot of, I mean, when I'm out, like I said, when I was in San Diego, okay, the mulatto women stood out in the university and off campus. It's yeah, we're good looking people wherever we are, and everyone knows that. And I'm trying to encourage people to basically just publicly, proudly say that, own that shit, just like all of them do. Talk about my melanin's popping and all this. I'm dark skinned. I had some dark skinned guy who's basically like, oh, all these girls, they love my dark skin. Okay, good. Well, why the hell are you on my channel talking to me? Are you a Fruit Loop or what? Like, he was trying to compete with me. I'm like, I don't give a damn how dark you are. Go have fun. Why are you talking to me? You know? So, but that's kind of the insecurity, the need to prove to you something. Yeah. So continue on for use.
Like now that I've heard so much weird shit, I can't, like, I'm a girl's girl. I will go up to you and talk and laugh. But the thing that people go on in their head, this therapy is needed for biracials. Because then it's
everything is framed on us and what we have to do. Now, like I said, us, I mean, I'm talking about the female counterpart because I have a biracial sister and I have a lot of biracial women who support me. Okay. And I support them. So yeah, I'm going to be one of the guys up here. I'm going to speak about it, but she's saying therapy, as if everything is on us. We need the therapy. We need to watch our speech and watch what we say. We need to not be disrespectful. We got to be more conscious. It's all the action is on you. And I'm sitting here laughing like those days are done. Moving on to the future. And because there's more of us now in society, like I said, you have the extremist elements within Black America who are going to push this conspiracy theory about erasure when we're just out here just trying to survive and exist like everybody else. And it's our right, our birthright. And I'm one of the guys, I'm not going to apologize for it. Yeah, continuing on, fair use.
It's very confusing when you grow. It's very confusing for an innocent child to grow up with a self-hating father, and then they can't even find a space in society. I empathize with you, but you can't come and take that rudeness out on.
We do have a space in society. The space is growing. Okay, I decided to create my own little space, this channel, and of course, Facebook groups and Discords, Instagrams, utilizing social media and other, avenues as well. But yeah, we already have spaces here now. The whole point now is to put money into it, invest it, market, and build upon it. And it's only going to grow as our numbers grow, the growth trajectory. But I like how she tries to frame it like, you don't fit in, you don't fit in. Well, we do. We have a space where they're accepted here. If you're a mulatto, you're biracial, you're on. This is a channel for you. It's called the third option. I know I tend to scare off some people, right? Which I think is kind of a good thing. I do that purposely, I might add. But in a sense, I do scare some people off. But in a sense, I do want people to feel welcomed here. So it's kind of a trade off. I'm not desperate for subscribers. And I tell people, look, if you don't like me, unsubscribe. Do not recommend this channel because I'll probably hurt your feelings. But if you're over here, pat yourself on the back because you're one of the real ones. Okay. And but I'm not desperate to have this support subscribers because, like I said, the real ones are going to find you. They're gonna review your content, and they already are. I mean, even like I said on Instagram, people who send me messages like, "I'm so happy I found your page, your channel." And I get these emails and messages from people like what I'm doing is working. I just have to continue to perfect the craft, essentially. So we do have spaces now. So this narrative where she's trying to use like reverse psychology, right? And basically say, I feel sorry for biracials. I really do because you don't fit in. I mean, the women, the biracial women are doing a lot better than the men in a lot of cases because the men, we have to compete, get in where we fit in. And I think a lot of us, we do really well. But the women, there's a more of a communal sense, is what I'm seeing. So they're able to navigate towards spaces and build. And I noticed this too in the university, in the university I went to, even before I heard about these online kind of spaces, I noticed that mixed race women, even if they were in couples, like pairs, that they'd be buddy and buddy next to each other. I would see the one dark skinned woman and then her mixed race, friends. I saw that a lot too. But I did see pairs of mixed race women. And at that time, I couldn't really identify what I was seeing, right? I kind of just abided by the one drop rule, so to speak. Not really. I knew there was a difference, right? But still, just I guess it was common and popular for the whole one drop thing. So I just kind of, I didn't pay so much attention to the fact that these were two mixed race women. But now, as a man, now a little older, more mature, I'm looking back on it. When I was in university, it was like, yeah, I noticed that too. That the women there, yeah. So it's been that way for a while, is what I'm seeing. So they do have spaces. So you can kind of, for this lady here, can kind of hold, keep her pity for herself because all her anger and animosity, it seems like she has more issues than these biracial women out here because she's angry. She's angry at the black man. She calls a self-hating black man and your white mom, and you biracials you need to stop being disrespectful and know how to act right. Basically, she's saying, stop being competitive. Stop taking the men that I want. you know, stop. Get off your pedestal. I don't want the competition. It's too much. It's too competitive out here. What do I have to do to get Tyrone? You're taking Tyrone from me. I mean, that's what I'm seeing from this clip. Okay. Continuing on, fair use.
Black women, and you can't force acceptance. You
Let
can't.
me say this too. It's not even Tyrone. Okay, it's not even that they're getting Tyrone. That these mulattoes are getting, like I said, they're getting white women. They're getting all of that too. Okay, but they're getting white men like the Prince of England. Okay, and um, they Prince Harry or Henry, whatever. And then also they're getting a lot of Hispanic men too across the board. So like I said, I mentioned that earlier that these women, okay, they can get other groups of men more easily in a lot of cases than someone like her. Or just listening to her how she talks. It's to me it seems like she's kind of stuck within that group, right? Just being honest, like, I don't know, maybe it's the thick kind of Caribbean accent. I don't know, but even her choice of words, her vocabulary, some of the colloquialisms that I've heard here, I don't know. It just seems like you're kind of, because you keep trying to shame black men, calling them self haters. Like that doesn't mean shit today, because a lot of these guys have been hearing that for years. You know, that you're calling them a self hater. What the hell does that mean? I mean, these guys are still going to move around and they're going to get what they want to get. So I don't know. You know, she's just upset. It's a competitive marketplace out here. Unfortunate. I just don't think it's ethical and worthwhile to try to generalize biracial women, you know, and throw them under the bus when you have the title here. Why do some, you put the word some, you know, black women dislike biracial mixed race women? Well, because they're jealous of them. Okay. In conclusion, you know, because they don't like them because they're jealous of them. And you've basically demonstrated that in this video, which I find to be, you know, interesting and alarming because, like I've said, I'll say it again, you're very attractive woman. It's like, you know, I don't get it. Like, you should definitely have guys, which you probably do. I don't know your status or whatever, but I just take the issue when you want to generalize women, biracial women, when you don't have their experience. Okay. And you can't weaponize the one drop rule when you want them to be black to fit to serve you. Okay. To boost your ego up, but then you want to outgroup them and say they're not black whenever you have a disagreement with them, right? We got to get away from that. The men and the women, mulatto men, biracial men and women, we got to get away from this being the targets of this weaponized one drop rule, because that relationship is not working out for a lot of us, right? So fair use. We're basically done here, guys.
Cannot force yourself on women that forced to be accepted. You got to get counseling and self-reflect.
You hear that? You got to get counseling. You got to get counseling. You guys hear that? Don't we hear that a lot, guys? You need counseling, not the angry woman, you know, yelling in a YouTube video. Well, she's not really yelling, but we can all tell she's tense and feisty, right? But yeah, it's you beautiful, soft-spoken, elegant, biracial women. It's you. You got to get counseling. I mean, according to her, but whatever. Fair use.
Because sometimes black women are not always the problem. We're always like getting beat up on. Sometimes black women don't like you, not because of jealousy, it's because of the disrespectful comments that you're not aware of. And then when you're raising biracial kids, you have to be mindful of saying things, because kids, they don't know. Kids, their mouth is have no filter. So they're going around saying, "Oh, you're black," and saying, "Oh, you're blacker than," or saying, "Well, you don't know what these biracial kids are saying to other black girls." So you got to be mindful how you're raising your kids. You got to be mindful, because it's very hard for biracial people. Oh, another comment.
It's not hard for us at all. Like I said earlier, I don't need the pity. It's not hard for us. I'm doing just fine, to be honest with you. I'm doing just fine out here. I'm going to get your guys' comments. The video is basically done. Then we'll close things out. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm disgusted when I hear this pitiful kind of pity language about it's hard for you guys. It's hard. No, it's not hard, man. Everything's good. It would be easier if you stayed the fuck out my way. I have a solution for that. I get away from you guys, okay? Someone said something funny. I don't know. I think it was Tommy Sotomayor, who I don't like. I don't like Tommy Sotomayor. I don't like his content. I don't like him. But he did coin something. I believe he said it. He said, if there's more than 3, you won't find me. He said something about that. And I do like that. I think that's clever and funny and very fitting. So like for me, the thing is, the solution is I get the hell away from people who I feel like is going to be a threat or problematic to me. I just get away from them. I don't associate with them, you know. So that's a solution for me. So I don't have it bad. Like I said, I don't have it bad out here. It could be easier. Yeah, life could be easier. But I love the fact that it's challenging out here, that I have men who I can compete with. I love that. It motivates me to wake up extra early, to put in the miles, to do the push-ups, to put in more rounds in the boxing. It motivates me. So I like the fact that it's hard because the reward, it's such a huge payoff. It feels good as a competitor. Like that's why I'm drawn to martial arts. I love the competition. The reward is just so great. So I like the fact that it's hard. It's hard out here. I like it. But yeah, things could be easier. But I'm I'm working with the cards that I was dealt with, and I feel like I was dealt a pretty good hand, to be honest with you. So yeah, just don't pity me. I don't know, because it's kind of sad. Um, but yeah, continue on, fair use.
Meghan Markle, I was treated like a black woman. Comments like that. Comments.
Hey, but remember, Meghan Markle, her mom's a black queen, so you should like her, right? She could be one of the ones that you could use to kind of kiss your butt and try to get acceptance into the group. And Meghan Markle, remember, she's got a white dad, so it's a self. Is her dad a self hater, or no? It's only for black men, right? For white men, they're not self haters if they're with black women, right? No, that's a good man. It's only when the black man wants to be with a woman who's not black, all of a sudden he hates himself. Really, really, even though he's a clean guy, good hygiene, works out, makes good money, he's respected in his community, but all of a sudden he's a self-hater because he's attracted to a woman of another group. Really, if you let them tell the story, which they have been, for a while, but other people are getting their voice out there. So fair use.
Like that. I don't like Meghan Markle. I swear, I think it's disgusting. I think she's disgusting.
She said she thinks she's disgusting, Meghan Markle. Those are some harsh words there, right? Now, let me ask you guys this. Do you think Meghan Markle gives a fuck what she thinks about her? Meghan Markle with her prince, married to a prince, right? Do you think she cares what some random YouTuber from New York has to say or thinks about her? I wouldn't give a shit. I'm nowhere near the royal family or that kind of what we call high society or affluence. I'm nowhere near that, but I don't give a shit what more than half of any of you people have to say about me. So imagine what Meghan Markle, like, she doesn't even care. It's funny. Fair use. That's it. That's it. Yeah, I'm gonna get your guys' comments now. Just kind of closing thoughts on that video. The clip I just reviewed took me 2 hours to get through it. Usually that's what it takes. And of course, because I respect your guys' time, I will put the timestamps in the video, but I don't know if there's really any transitions or timestamps necessary, but I'll do the best I can. But like I said, the commentary, what I got from that clip, because like I said, I'll say it again, is attractive woman, but obviously in her head, just something's not clicking. She seems like she's very bothered by biracial women. She's envious and jealous. That's why the title of the stream was Black Women's Jealousy of Biracial Women. Now I'm basically saying specifically her, but her sentiments are very similar with a lot of others. Was there some comments? Like, maybe since we're all here, guys, let me just go back real quick and then read some of those comments on the video before I get to your guys' comments. Okay. Description. I know this is a controversial topic, but it had to be discussed because I see colorism is getting worse, and there are a lot of mixed biracial women who offend darker skinned women with colorist comments. It goes both ways. Okay. You said it perfectly, Janique. Sometimes people do come in and try to cause problems when there are no problems. Yeah, well, like I said, that the black guy who put the comment, she was saying he was probably just trolling you because he knew he could. And there's a lot of black guys who they do that, to each other. In black male spaces, you'll have, um, black women who will come in their spaces and try to troll them and shit. It works both ways with these people. So, and we all know that as a woman, we don't need anyone's help, anyone else's help being jealous or envious. It's sad the level of hatred and self-hatred that's out there. I stayed away from this one girl. I don't care because she's simply a pick me. Okay, see, there you go. So when you look at you examine the language, like I said, you have that triangulation, as this lady put it, talking about the black man and the white woman and the biracial woman. The biracial woman that has a black father, white mother, right? There you go. And you look at the language you see here from she liked the comment, okay? Pick me. So now we know what kind of audience, what kind of demographic we're dealing with here. Emma Stone, pick me, right? That's Dust Vester language right there. It's what the Dust Vesters say. They call people mammies and pick me's. So yeah, we know exactly the kind of crowd we're dealing with, right? Love your messages. Hey, love your channel. I have a video suggestion. And plus, I always wondered about this. Why do women need validation from each other? Or why they compete with each other? She has supporters. Look at that. $5, $10. So I can't hate her hustle. Oh, this cat here. He's actually, or she, person's a commenter. I think Megan knows that phenotypically she presents as more ambiguous white mixed, but she gave light to the fact that real racists will clearly see that part of her that is in fact black, not pure white, and thus threatened her so. There's levels and nuances to all this. I think the statement is really misunderstood, and unless you actually know the person, you can't make a judgment based off a soundbite. You don't know how that is an insulting comment to a black woman. This is 5 hours ago, okay? We cannot relate. It's okay to not agree. Thank you for your input, though. Also, her phenotype is not black. She is biracial. That's my whole point. Being from my experience, she will not know how that comment is offensive. And that's what I said in the entire video. Weird shit. Okay. Some black women believe that biracial are replacing authentic black women. LOL, a purist is no different from a white purist. Exactly. Why divide based off skin color? Why mingle based off skin color? These women are just shallow. Yeah, it's a purist. It's a white supremacist purist. The whole erasure, biracial women are erasing. They're trying to replace us. That's purist language. It's all white supremacy, but these are black people embracing white supremacy, which she's sounds. Yeah, do I want to say it? No. You must not live in reality. Yeah. Okay. Let me get your guys' comments. Like I said, to me, basically the whole thing is she sounds like she's jealous. Sounds like she's jealous, and like I said, it's unfortunate because she's very attractive. Okay, is but she's still, even then, she's still jealous of biracial women. I mean, you're probably gonna stay jealous because it's a lot of competition out here. Because I'm looking around all over social media, the area I'm living at. Well, I live in a more suburban area. Now, I was at the dentist today. As I was walking out the dentist, mixed race chick was in the waiting room. You know, um, but it's highly competitive out here, man. I mean, I'm looking around like, yeah, the mixed race chicks are in. They're in, and I don't think the trend is going to go away anytime soon, honestly. So let me get to your guys' comments here. I'm see where I left off at. Like you put here, why she insists that Irish people hate themselves. Yeah, yeah, I know people will say that about me too. That I don't see that many comments people saying that. You might have a few that I'm a self-hater. I don't know. Have I seen that? Well, people will just say I'm racist. It's like, well, I'm not black, so what the hell do you expect? I'm not racist. I have a black friend, so I don't know what they're talking about. But if anyone tries to say that like I'm a self-hater or I hate my black side, but then they see all these damn images and videos of me in Africa surrounded by black people, it's like those comments, it doesn't really hold weight, you know? It's kind of laughable. And someone on that note, someone said something about, oh, well, you just don't like the black Americans. I'm like, well, that's not true. But what I can say is a lot of black Americans don't like themselves. I mean, clearly, when you have them, trying to say they're everything else but black, now that they're indigenous or that they're mixed race, they're MGM, you know. So they make up little funny terms to hide the fact that they're just black identified. They're just black. And so there's a lot of self-hate going on in their group. Be more conscious. Better phrases would be courteous, actually. Yeah. Yeah, be courteous for sure. She's not much competition. Yeah, that chick you're saying. Yeah. What I hear is that monoracial people make fun of other black people in communities, not biracials. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I've proven that. Well, I didn't prove it. I guess I can say I presented that, where I talked about that before, where I've seen that, where it's like black people basically, like I say, they call kind of intra-racial prejudices within their own groups and their own communities. But then you have people who want to basically try to scapegoat biracials, right? Kind of like in American society, we often see how black people are scapegoated, right? In America, but in black America, black society, biracials are the number one scapegoat. When anything bad happens, like you say, like Obama, they all loved Obama, but he didn't do what they wanted to do. Now they're going to throw him under the bus. So that's what typically happens with biracial. It's the same thing that's going to happen with Kamala Harris. Okay. When there's a new administration in, all the same blacks who voted for her, voted Democrat, they're going to start throwing her under the bus. This has been going on for years. Like I said, I'm only in my early 30s, but I've been seeing this stuff. So they'll use you when they need you as a subordinate. But once they're done using you, then they're going to throw you to the curb. And then you create your own space. You're like, hey, you're not going to treat me like that anymore. I'm going to do my own thing. Then they're going to whine and cry. So it's very common pathology that I'm trying to, convince people to kind of, stray away from that pathology. She doesn't know her genetics. Meghan, oh, I think I read that. Meghan is biracial. Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's they're just weaponizing the one drop rule to basically use you as a subordinate. Yeah, triangulation, right? There are a couple biracial guys. I think I read that. I left off right here. So right here, MLS people should date each other, right? Who's then again a guy who's been, posting comments basically for the past year since I've been uploading videos and streams and stuff like that. Yeah, and you definitely made good points. Right here it says there are biracial women who prefer pookies. Exactly, and I stay the hell away from them, to be honest with you. I'm actually grossed out and disgusted. There was a couple. There's this one, lady on Instagram, and she do her Instagram lives and stuff. And I was, yeah, after a couple times, I was like, ugh, why did I even follow this person? Yeah, and I'm seeing you, I'm seeing Pookie all up in there, and nah, just decreased your value. I'm good. There's too many women out here, so I'm not gonna even deal with Pookie's leftovers, right? It says that's not winning any competition. Being yeah, yeah, that's definitely a good way for a lady to decrease her value for sure. Black women are the cause of black society's downfall. I mean, there's a lot of people who would agree with you on that. I can't endorse that comment. I can't say it's accurate. What can I say? I don't agree or disagree. I have no comment. But there's a lot of people who would say that. Typically, if you're more black male centered, obviously, because the black men will say it's all black women's fault. And then what are black women going to say? It's all black men's fault every 5.5 hours. So they just both blame each other. My whole thing is they need to stop scapegoating biracials into their fuckery, because I'm not trying to beg to be a part of their group. I go wherever the hell I want, and I'm pretty welcomed in a lot of places. So I'm not trying to erase or usurp and all this stuff. So because they're better looking than black women, that's subjective. I would say a lot of them are for sure. Like I said, when I was in San Diego, you can go to places in like South America too, right? Brazil, Dominican Republic, depending on where you're at. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, for me personally, that's my preference. But are all of them? No, no. Like there's actually biracial content creators up here, women. And that lady I just, reviewed, that Jamaican lady, even though she kind of had a little sassy attitude. Let me pull her up on the screen. Just call a spade a spade. Yeah, looking at her, I'm like, well, she looks better than some of these damn ghetto ass biracial women up here on YouTube. Some of these Pookie's leftovers. Like, I'm looking at her and I'm looking at some of them and I'm like, shit. But it's all subject, Yeah. That's it, guys. I've been going on for a minute. It's already way past my bedtime. Got to get up, work out, go to work, do everything, rinse, repeat, right? But that's what's up, guys. Shout out to the chat. Respect to the chat. Respect to all the supporters. You really want to support me, please hit the like button. Likes are free. I really appreciate it. And let's continue to keep doing this thing, get the message out there. And I look forward to talking with you guys next time. So until next time, sayonara.